What's up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of the Different Views podcast. We appreciate all the feedback that we've been getting, and we really appreciate all the people tuning in to our podcast. Really appreciate it. Topic of today is positive influence, positive and negative influence, because we all have positive and negative influences in our life, which is why we make decisions that we make. A positive influence in my life is a positive influence in somebody else's life. A negative influence in my life could be somebody else's positive influence, or however you see it. And I feel like a lot of things can be influential to everybody. As far as music, I know we talked about having father figures in a previous podcast. So things like that definitely can influence you in a positive or negative way. And I feel like you can have an influence from older people or younger people or somebody the same age as you. You can be an influence. You can be influenced by people from all different ages, all different cultures, racial backgrounds, and everything.
I feel like after speaking to people on social media and like getting feedback, I feel like people are saying like the younger generation is the problem. They're following after the social media, they're following after the music. But I feel like people are always saying things about the younger generation, men and women, but like they're all older, but nobody's like helping. Everybody has an opinion and wants to speak on the younger generation is this, that, but they're not being that positive influence that is needed. If you feel like people are being negative, then like, why aren't you being a positive influence? And like, why aren't you helping up? But like, people just want to comment, like, and it's not all older, but it's a majority of them. Like, they're always speaking down on it, the younger generation, but nobody tries to understand why somebody's acting a certain way. And not saying like when people do act a certain way, it's okay, but nobody tries to understand and learn somebody like. But they always have that opinion, but they're not trying to help us. Like, shut your ass up if you not gonna help or fix the problem. Like, you add more to it because you being negative in a negative situation. So shit, you not helping either.
Yeah, and I feel like that's a negative influence on them because they just seeing it as, like you said, they're not trying to take the time to understand anything that they're thinking or doing, and it just feels like it's negative to them. So them talking down on it, like you said, I mean, I speak on it as well. Like, I feel like this generation, the younger generation, is a little weaker and needs to step up a lot. But like you said, I'm trying to find ways to help them, and all the kids know that I train and that I'm around. I'm always trying to find ways to make them better and always pushing them to be better. So it's like the people that just comment and always say the younger generation is weak and they are entitled and they this and that, and they're not doing anything about it. Like, they definitely just need to shut the fuck up and just go on about their business.
Yeah,
That shit ain't helping nothing at all if you ain't even
being
gonna
negative
help.
right in it.
Yeah, just do something about it if you're gonna talk about it. Like, don't just be a fucking coward.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's definitely some things that the younger generation, I mean, even our generation, like, I feel like our generation is a mixture of the older generation and the younger. I feel like it's like half and half. Just my personal thoughts. As far as like people not wanting to work and people not wanting to do shit, or people wanting to get rich quick and thinking shit is just all sweet. But then you got, I feel like the other half of our generation is just like molded by the older generation, and they work for everything that they got, and they know how to work hard and be resilient and go after their goals and shit. So I feel like it's a mixture. What you feel like as far as
that too,
the middle
like
ground?
the part where you were saying like how that the older generation, they worked hard and they worked for what they wanted and just like did that. But I feel like now this generation, and it's not good, they do want to get rich quick, but it's just the fact that they want more than life than the older generation does. And I think that's kind of what like bites that pisses like the older generation off, because like they didn't succeed that success or meet that goal that they wanted in life. So then they hate on the younger generation because they're doing it and they're succeeding. And I don't even want to say they're succeeding. And it may look, in a lot of the things they do are negative, and they do like a bunch of like bullshit and like a lot of soft shit, but it's still, again, I still feel like that falls on the older generation because like I know as a kid, like I didn't have too many older dudes like looking out. Like I didn't have too many older dudes that really were making sure I was good. So it's like I kind of learned from like again different as I got older. I kind of learned from people like men especially, but like I don't remember like OGs. I don't remember mentors for real that were doing something positive. Of course, there was dudes
Right.
around, but like doing something positive, no, I didn't have that. So it was
Right.
like I kind of to find that positive mindset and that success. It took a while. Like I was 19 until I really figured it out what I wanted. So it's like again, they're always speaking down on that generation, but they're not helping. So it's just
Right.
like again goes back to if you're not helping with a situation, shut your ass up or help with the situation. But
Yeah. I mean, I feel like as far as the positive influence, um, I mean, obviously, yeah, it comes from the older generation, but I feel like as far as like our parents and then shit, me even like I said, me being in the middle generation or whatever, um, I see why this generation is weaker, uh, and entitled or whatever, because like me, as far as me being a parent, like my mindset, just not thinking and not putting it into full aspect, just broadly going into it is just like I'm gonna give my kid everything. My kid's not gonna struggle. My kid's not gonna have to do this or have to do that to get money or go to school and all that. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like we're kind of setting them up in that way because like we come from struggle. We come from uh, a poor mentality or a poor income or low income, whatever. So it's just like once we get to our success, it's like my kid's not gonna struggle. My kid, and it's just like, how do you say your kid's not gonna struggle and all this stuff, and then expect them to have that hunger, like somebody
yeah,
that's struggling? You know what I'm saying? So it's just like I feel like as parents right now, we have to find ways for our kids to still feel that uncomfortability and that struggle that we felt that we were in, but just provide a different environment or a different way to get that because that's the only way that they're. I mean, you get those rare kids that just come from a rich family or a wealthy family or just a stable family with as far as income and whatever, and they just love to work. You know what I'm saying? They just have it in them. But most kids, like, if you're entitled, it's mainly because your parents have, like you said, the older generation has did that and put them in that situation. So I feel like that definitely plays a role in it. Like us coming from struggle and being that way, like we want to make sure our kids don't struggle. But like I tell everybody, like my kid, he's good, obviously, but it's just like at any point in time where he feels like his money is my money, like he'll understand, or I'll make sure he understands, like this ain't your money, like this is the money I earn.
yeah,
Like you got to work for this shit, and I'm never gonna let him like just be fucked up. You know what I'm saying? I'm always gonna help him, but it's just like at the end of the day, like you need to understand, like you ain't got shit for real. Like you need to work for
yeah,
everything that you need to get. So that's definitely something that parents need to understand and teach their kids for sure.
yeah. And that's the thing too. And I've been seeing that like a lot lately. Like I've seen a couple of parents on social media, Facebook. They were just saying like, man, I created a monster because they was like, my kid is asking me for like designer clothes and like $1,800 shoes, and it's like,
Yeah.
no, they should not be wearing $1,000 pair of shoes. And I
Right.
don't care the level of success or the. In my perspective, I say like once I reach that money or that finance, that I have those type of finances, my kids still won't
Mhm.
like get that because it's just like again, like I see all these kids in these expensive ass clothes, and it's like they can't fucking read, they can't do, they can't like they really they struggle in so many different areas. Or I see like kids wearing designer clothes, but then they can't afford to go to college if they don't have no scholarship. So I just think that's like backwards,
Yeah.
and that's when it goes
Yeah.
to like the teaching like the morals and like just having that I can't even think of the word, but just teaching kids to that hard work is needed in order to get the things that you want. Like, but I feel like people
Yeah.
just give their kids shit, so then it's like their kids don't understand. Like, man, I gotta work for that. So then when they try to flip it, like, damn, I created this spoiled little monster. How do I go now? I'm
Yeah.
about to start taking shit away. So it's like, no, they don't. That's not gonna work either. Because now it's gonna be like,
Right.
oh, mom's being mean, dad's being mean.
Right. They don't
So I
understand
will
why you
feel like,
switching up now.
yeah, so it's like, damn, why they acting like that? So then now they start to look at you a certain way, start feeling a certain way because you just start
Right.
acting like that. So I feel like if you are gonna give your kid like everything they want, I think they still need to understand, okay, you gotta work for it. You gotta do these chores,
Yeah,
you
you
gotta
gotta
do
earn it.
whatever it is, you gotta have this type of grades or this is the expectation. And if you want this, you have to
Mm-hmm.
meet this expectation. You have to get this done. But I feel like parents and guardians are just giving these kids things and they're not earning it. And I feel like that's with sports too. Like I feel like people are just
Man.
privileging these kids and giving them stuff and they're not earning it. And then they're like, damn, why is this kid acting like this? Then
Yeah.
why are these kids like this? You're feeding
Mm-hmm.
into it. You're not helping with the problem either. And like I remember I was telling you a couple we were talking about just like the players and I was saying like I would have certain rules and certain things they had to follow when they would come to training, and it'd be like, damn, he being mean, he tripping. And I would get them on track and they would start following these rules because it was either you're going to follow these rules or you're not. So then they would follow the rules at the training facility, but then when they're at home, they're not listening. They're
Right.
not following these rules. They're talking back to their mom and their dad. They're talking back to coaches and teachers. So it's like, oh yeah, he tripping. I ain't got to do
Mm-hmm.
that. He tripping. Like my mom don't care. My coaches don't care. So it was like they were confused. They were like, so do we do
Yeah.
this stuff or do we do it not? So then it would come
Right.
to the point to where it was either you gonna listen to me or you gonna get your ass out. Like I don't
Right.
have to deal with it. So it was like I think parents have to get their kids to understand like you have to work hard for what you want. Like, and if not, you're not gonna get it. You're gonna lose out
Right.
when you don't work hard. So I feel like it's okay to give your kids the things that you didn't have, but they still need to feel that struggle a little bit. I feel like, and I don't want to really say
Hell
struggle,
yeah.
but they
No,
need to
they
feel
need to
that
feel that, bro.
uncomfortability. That's the word. Like they need to feel that uncomfortability because I feel like I'm glad that my life was how it was, and I'm not. And let me say this now, come on, I didn't grow up like in a bad like this environment, but it was certain things that I didn't have. Of course, it was certain and not even just material things, just certain things that I didn't have growing up that I lacked in certain areas. But it was like I'm so glad that I went through those certain things because it made me teach, like it made me understand, it taught me hard work. Like
Yeah.
so I will say, like, if you're going to give your kids what they want, then make sure they're earning it. Make sure they understand that you have to get this done. You have to do hard work. Shit, you're working hard to get that shit for them. So how you working hard and they ain't working
Right.
hard? So you just spoiling them and you. So now
Right.
you working hard and they ain't working hard. They just get the shit handed to them. So I feel like that too. Like people have to get their kids to understand hard work. And I think that's the big thing. And it takes time, but I think people need to start getting their kids to understand hard work.
Yeah. I think that translates to sports as well. Because like you said, if they getting disciplined or whatever by their coach, and it's just like at home they ain't got to do that or they ain't got to listen to that or act a certain way. It's just like, why I'm gonna do it here at practice?
Yeah.
Like I keep saying, like you ain't my dad. Like that little quote or that little saying, like that
Yeah,
shit
that's just
translates.
so
Like
much.
you ain't my dad, you ain't my guardian, you ain't my parent, you're not my authority. I mean, you are the authority by title, but
Man,
it's just like when I'm at home, like if my mom ain't telling me to do that, like I ain't got to do that here. So it's just like that shows, like you said, they got to have morals and understand hard work and discipline at home first before they learn it somewhere else or do it somewhere else. And then that goes also into like working hard on the field because sometimes it translates as far as the coaches not holding people accountable or making people work hard as well. Like you see players get on the field that shouldn't be on the field just because they tall or just because they fucking
meet the measurement.
fast or yeah, just because they came from a different school or just anything or just because the coach likes them. And it's just like that's also a reason why kids are failing as well. It's not just because at home. It could be like just on the field or just at school or whatever, people getting stuff handed to them and showing entitlement and getting in an entitlement environment. Like that shit plays a role as well. And I feel like when coaches do that shit, it is making a player worse. Like I hate when coaches are not just real and being like a fair opportunity with every player. It's just like I don't care if he's faster or more athletic. Like give the player that's working just as hard or harder like a fair
Yeah,
opportunity. Like and not saying like you gotta play him just because he the underdog or just because he working harder or whatever. Like it's just like whatever is shown, whatever is executing, like put that player on the field. Like put the best players on the field and give them an opportunity to show that they're the best player. Don't just make it seem like they're the best player because they're more athletic or because their attributes are better or whatever gifts God gave him were just he was blessed with. Like that doesn't make sense. And I feel like that translates to them being better on and off the field, like because then they'll understand that clarity, like that clarity gives them confidence as well, like to know like, oh, this person's outworking me, like the people as far as the players that are like more athletic or more gifted or whatever, like it will give them clarity. Like when somebody's over them playing and it's just like, why is he playing if I feel like I'm more athletic than him? No, because he's working harder than you. Like talent ain't shit without fucking hard work. So that helps them get clarity and boost their confidence as well. Because then they'll start putting that talent to work and being or executing. So I feel like coaches need to do that shit a lot more.
and then on that point too, like you said, not giving that kid who's working hard and doing everything right no
Mm-hmm.
chance, and then you wonder why these kids become the way that they are because it's like, damn, okay, again, like we just said, you got to work hard to earn what you want, and these kids that's working hard to earn get what they deserve, and they're not getting it. So it's like,
Yeah,
again, it goes back to the adults. I'm not even going to just say the older generation, the adults and the ones who have that control to make that to set that standard, and they're not, and they're all
yeah,
not like that. But again, that goes to show everybody's not holding everybody to the same standard, and that's a problem as well. But
yeah.
no, I just wanted to just say that.
Yeah, that's a big problem. Is holding people to the standard. But I mean, sometimes people don't even have standards. So it's like, how do you hold somebody to a standard when you don't even have it yourself, or they have low standards? And it's just like if the kid or the player or whatever has higher standards than the coach, it's just like it'll never be a connectivity there because the standards are they're not even set because the player has higher standards or the coach has no standards at all. So that shit will fuck shit up too. But I
That's
feel
right.
like that's what's happening with like Antoine and Bube. Like
Yeah,
they and it's crazy because I mean I'll tell them this to their face and they know like they didn't have those standards like a year or two ago. Like it's just all the work they putting in and all the shit they're seeing and getting exposed to as far as like the training or seeing players like and watching more football and just seeing more of the the journey to get to college or to the league. It's just like their expectations are higher and they know that their work that they're putting in is good for them and they know that they are good players and it's just like they have higher standards in what the environment that they're in. And it's just like the environment that they're in, like I said, is people on the field that feel like shouldn't be on the field and they should be. But it's just like there's no clarity on why they're not on the field. Like
yeah,
but I told them as well, like sometimes coaches, I mean, they see it, they know, but it's just like sometimes it goes over their head and then they don't even care to explain or even know why they didn't put them on the field. So I told them to start asking. Like I told Abube, I think that was yesterday or 2 days ago, whenever we worked out. When he got out of the car, I'm like, bro, you need to ask the coach, like, why you're not moving up. Like, why is this person in front of you? Why are you not moving up?
yeah,
Because he was saying like there was a sophomore in front of him or something like that, and he's a junior. But I was just like, bro, like, have you asked? And he was like, nah. And I'm just like, why not? And he was just like, well, I feel like he just says the same thing as far as when I asked him to move up. I said, don't ask him to move up. I said, just ask him why you haven't moved up or why you're still on JV or why there's a sophomore in front of you. And I said, even if he bullshit you or whatever, you'll see what it is. Like, he ain't trying to be real with you, one. But then I'm like, two, you may get the real answer. And this is like, even if it's something that you don't like to hear, like you may get the real answer, you may get clarity, and that'll help you get better. And that'll help you mentally. You know what I'm saying? Like just to have that clarity. But then I told him, like, bruh, you have to ask in the right environment too. Cause I'm like, I know y'all be just pissed and y'all just want to ask and probably don't even ask respectfully or in the right way or in the right environment. I'm like, in the middle of practice, you can't be asking them why you're not on
that's probably
varsity,
how
why
they
you're not
do it.
moving up. You know what I'm saying? Or you
Do a
can't
good
ask
rep.
right
Like, why not
before
playing?
practice. Yeah, like right before practice either. Like he about to get ready to do his whole thing, his whole schedule or something. Like you need to ask him after practice when everything's calmed down. You need to ask him during school, during your lunch period, or whenever you got free time, or like an hour or 30 minutes before practice, whenever there's free time for you to talk. And you need to approach him like a young man. I said, y'all are all kids, right? So they're gonna treat you like kids until you show them that you're more mature. So I'm like, you need to approach him the right way as well. You need to go up to him and like, hey, coach, can I talk to you? And then he'll be like, dang, like he wants to talk. Like that's already a sign of maturity right there. You just want to talk, and you're coming to me. I don't have to come to you.
Yeah.
As a kid or a young man, you're coming to me and you want to talk. So you talk to him, you approach him the right way, and you ask him, and be honest and be clear on what you're asking. Don't just say, why am I not on varsity? Like ask him, why am I not on varsity? Why is this sophomore in front of me? Do you feel like he's better than me? Is there something I'm not doing? Like you need to ask all those questions, because all those questions you be talking about, all of them, they be talking about the shit when we at the field, but it's
Man,
just
I was
like
about to say
y'all
they'll
never
tell
do
you.
that shit.
Yeah, and it's like, bro, you have to speak up. You have to be more vocal. And
Yeah.
they're not. So it's like the
Yeah.
same way y'all are telling me all this shit, go do that.
Right.
And it's
Exactly,
like,
bro.
and some coaches, and I don't know for that exact situation, but some coaches will like kind of see how you react, and if they see you don't give a fuck that you not playing, they gonna be like, well, fuck it, and like
Right.
they won't care. So I think you just gotta kind of like demand it in a respectful way, but you gotta like you gotta
Yeah.
demand shit your respect.
Yeah.
But and then you just gotta make sure the work is behind it once you say that. But
Yeah. I mean, that's another thing though. What I always tell them, like, bruh, all right, I'm on JV. You can take it one or two ways. I'm on JV, fuck it. Or I'm on JV, I'm about to show them I'm supposed to be on varsity.
yeah,
And it's just like, they not doing that. And it's just like, they can, but they haven't been doing that as far as like when they get in the games, they're dominating. And I understand, like, they're playing teams that's just like terrible. But I just told them like that's when y'all need to be like dominating more and like working on your technique even more, because like you can't play down to your competition. But again, that goes back to the standards. It's just like if y'all really had the standards that y'all say y'all do, then y'all would already know that and would be dominating as far as when y'all get in them games against them shitty teams. Because it's like y'all still indirectly y'all going back to the standards of those coaches, like, and that's why y'all on JV, and that's why they keep you on JV. As far as like transparency and clarity, like I feel like that definitely is something that needs to be addressed and just laid out there. But I feel like parents too, like you said, I'm going back to the designer clothes thing. Is just like these kids will get these shoes, these designer clothes, and it's just like I'm asking for $50 for a training, but you can't pay for it. Y'all, like, man, I had a kid pull up to the well, actually it was one of the kids that came to the camp. I think it was two of them actually. They came to that camp that we had at Richpoint. And it's like they pulling up in a navy blue Range Rover, tinted rims and shit. And it's just like I hit bruh and I told him like the price for training. He's like, oh, I don't know if we gonna be able to pay for training. And I'm just like, well, I don't know if you're gonna be able to train, my boy. Like, I see y'all
like,
pulling up and it's just like I ain't trying to count pockets, but it's just like this the shit like that. And this is like the kid be posting all these fits and all this shit. It's just like, but I can't get no training. It's just like, bro, I could be charging more. It's like, but I ain't even that type of person. But you not about to get over on me. Nah, that shit ain't happening.
Man, I remember Top told me that's counting pockets. I never forget when it was that first time I just started training. I mean, I just started charging the train. And mind you, I
Mhm.
was charging like 65 for 12 sessions. $65
Yeah.
for 12 sessions for older
For
kids.
12 sessions?
Yes. 45
Yeah.
for 12 sessions for younger kids. And I remember my mom told me she couldn't afford it. I'm like, all right, cool. I go out. I don't know if it was that right week, that exact weekend, but I remember going out and I see her in there kicking it. Shots. I'm talking about getting lit. I said, what the fuck? I remember I told Chop, he said, you can't do that. That's counting pockets. I said, I'm not counting pockets. I'm saying, how could she afford to do this, but just told me she couldn't afford the $45? She
Yeah.
just bought 3 shots. That's
Yeah.
$45.
Right.
Like,
And it's just
I'll
like
be
you
like,
can't
bro,
afford it. It's just like that's just not what's important to you.
yes, like, and again, that goes to show these kids, like, the real shit's not important. Again, they have all this designer shit on, but then their grades are bad. They can't fucking read. I know some kids who can't physically read, so it's like y'all are investing y'all's money into the wrong shit. Get him a
Right.
tutor.
And we can
Like,
read Balenciaga. Like that's a
man,
hard ass word to read.
can't even say that shit, right? But I think too, like, bro, the older generation just needs to take responsibility for the chaos that they did. But I will say though, social media. And I feel like I'm contradicting myself, but like I feel like social media does influence kids in the bad way, but if you allow it, though, and
Yeah.
I feel like too though. See,
It's
we didn't have
access
social
though.
media. We didn't
Yeah.
have a social media back in the day, but like we had the music. Like the music was like that too, but like niggas might have listened to like a drill song, but niggas knew not to go do no shit like that.
Right.
I think they have like, and I don't know if this is the proper like term, but I feel like a lot of kids have like identity issues. Like I feel like they're trying to be something they're not. But a
Yeah.
lot of things too, niggas don't know how to be themselves. Like
Mm-hmm.
they think that's lame or corny. That's why I tell bro, it's okay to be lame. It's okay to be corny. If that means that's
Man.
being yourself, bro. Like that's why
For real.
I used to tell the player, bro, I'm lame. Like if lame
Yeah.
is me being me, bro, I'm lame. And I would
Yeah.
just say that to them just to get them to understand, like, bro, be yourself. Don't follow after the shit on social media. Don't follow but they know it's wrong though. Like these kids be knowing the shit. It's just like they don't have that male figure. So and to go in, that's when that's when these kids are missing their fathers, bro.
Yeah.
Like having that positive influence as a man, they don't. These kids
Yeah.
don't have that. So I think that's the problem too. And
Yeah.
then the moms aren't as what's the word? Like what is that? Stern? As like
Yeah.
our moms was like again. Like I really only had my mom, but it was like my mom was like dominant, like, and I don't
Yeah.
really want to say dominant, but like
Shit,
dominant
she
in
was
the
the mom
sense,
and the dad.
yeah, like and like you know how people be like, oh, she was a mom and dad, like nah, like she was really the mom and dad, like she was
Yeah.
so tough on me, but was still like giving me like that love that was needed, but it was like she was real tough on me, like
Right.
she emphasized like doing the right thing, and if I did something wrong, like oh, I got punished for it. Like I got
Yeah.
I suffered the consequences of doing something wrong. So I feel like
Yeah.
the moms aren't doing like they're not as tough as they were back in the day. And my
Yeah.
mom still made sure, even though like my biological father wasn't in my life, she still made sure I was around like certain men. And even though they all weren't perfect, I still was able to pick up certain things that they did do right. Like if
Yeah.
it was, I don't know, like just teaching how to treat a woman, how to talk,
Yeah.
manners, and taking responsibility for my actions. Just different little things that I picked up on from like just certain men, because she tried to make sure I had that like that positive influence, even though my dad wasn't there. But
Yeah.
that's a big thing. Like fathers, like a lot of these kids who are acting the way they're acting, they don't have fathers. They
Hmm.
don't have that male figure. So
Yeah. And that plays a big ass role. And then you gotta be, if you don't have it, like I said, or like you said, you gotta have somebody like a mom or a guardian that is gonna be that stern and be that aware to know that you don't have that, to give you both the strong tough love and the motherly love too, the comfort love. So that shit definitely plays a role. uh, but I feel like as far as what you said about the social media, it's just like it's not contradicting. You're not contradicting. It's just I feel like everything is just has pros and cons to it. It's just like the older generation, they have to understand, like, some of them, they gave, or they caused the chaos that's going on with the younger generation. But also, it's just like social media has caused it as well. But like you said, as far as both the older generation being part and the social media being part, it's like everybody has a choice on what they want to do and what they want to use, what they want to have influence them. And it's just like the parents have to have a choice, or the parents have a choice to make sure their kids are not influenced by the wrong shit, and the kids have a choice on what to be influenced by. Because at the end of the day, you can have two really good parents that's doing everything right, and you still get a rebellious kid. And it's just like, as far as the social media, it's the access. It's just like on YouTube shit. When I post our YouTube video, it's like I didn't even know this was a thing. It's like you can pick the audience, and it's just like you can pick, yes, it's for kids, or no, it's not for kids. And then it's just like, no matter what, if it, you could put an age restriction limit on it, but it's just a category before you put the age restriction. It says yes, it's for kids, no, it's for kids, no, it's not for kids. And it's just like, at the end of the day, no matter what, they can look the shit up and find it if they got a phone, if they got a tablet, or if they got whatever. Shit, TV's got YouTube and everything now. So it's just like, at some point in time, if the kid want to watch some shit that's negative, they gonna have it. And it's just like, at the end of the day, it's their choice. And it goes back to, again, the parents having the influence and the choice and everything too. But it's just like, even if they're influenced in the right way, the kid still has a choice whether they want to do it or not. So it just depends on both factors. I feel like it's not really contradicting. It's just, it's so many factors that go into it, especially with all this access to everything now, like the music and everything. It's just like you said, all that shit. I think everything is just, it correlates to certain situations and everything. It just depends on whatever. Like everything depends on the factor or whatever is going on. Like you said, the music back in the day was damn near the same. Like the violence or talking about doing this shit or whatever, it's just like we knew not to do it. But as far as, like you said, these kids now have a problem with identity. They don't know who they are. So at the end of the day, they have a good father, they got a good mother, but they don't know who they are. They don't know what they want to be. So the music may influence them, even though their mom taught them not to do this, or their dad taught them not to do this, but they don't know who they are. They want to be like this rapper instead of be like their dad. It's just a choice. So it's just like, at the end of the day, it depends on the situation.
I think you just like how we both are saying, set the tone at home.
Yeah.
Is the big thing. Like I think parents don't set the tone and like set the standard at home. And that's kind of like just like listening to you talking, like just kind of like overthinking it. I think parents just didn't set the standard at home, because I remember like as a kid, like it was certain stuff I would do, and it'd be like, damn, hold on, like, I'm gonna get my ass up.
Yeah, I ain't
So
gonna
it'd
do
be
it.
like, and it was like where I grew up, it wasn't like just the trenches, but it was still a lot of negative things going on. It was still like a lot of, it was still like a hood area, so there was still a lot of things going on. So I would see certain stuff and be like, nah, that ain't it. But like now these kids, they want to go over there and really get in, and it's like, nah.
Right.
But it's
I
like,
want to get the mix.
but I think it comes down to like the identity thing. Like I think a lot of people don't know who they truly are, so they're grabbing, and it's okay. I feel like to grab little bits of pieces from different people if it's something good. But I think they're grabbing bits and pieces of the wrong thing from like different people. Like, okay, they want to be like, all right, I'm gonna be a gangster. All right, I'm gonna be a scammer. I'm gonna be this, that, and the third, because it's being glorified. And I think, but then again, they know. So it's just like, I don't really know what goes through like a lot of their heads, because it's like they know, and it's just like, I think it's just the identity thing, bro. And I feel like they hop on trends too much. I feel like everybody's trying to hop on like that. The trend thing is so big too. Like all these shit
they
going
want to
back
be
to the
the trending
clothes.
topic.
Yeah, like going back to all the designer. Half of that shit is ugly as hell.
Yeah.
Like
It's like
them
you can get paid to be a
looking
trend,
ass shoes that they be wearing. Shit is ugly as shit. Balenciagas, and it's so funny because you could ask one of these kids like, "Wait, did that shit hard? That shit ugly," but everybody got it. what the
Right.
fuck?
I hear
Like,
people say shit
no.
like that, like
Like,
with the
I can't,
music
that shit is
too.
like, bruh, like
Nigga be
NBA
like, "Oh, this
Youngboy.
nigga trash," but the beat hard though, so I'm gonna still listen
Yeah,
to
like
it. Like,
it's
what?
just like
He ain't
they're
even
following their
saying
friends, and
nothing.
that's the identity thing. Like, and when you ask these kids, like, they just don't know like what they don't know what they want, and it's just a problem.
Yeah.
And two, again, I say for like people my age, they're
Mhm.
fucking kids up too, bro. Like, shit. If you think about back home, I know a couple of people I grew up with that was soft as hell back in the day, and they became gangsters. And it's like these kids
Man,
glorify
oh
them,
my
and it's like, bro,
god,
that's not
bro.
even them.
That's
So
not
it's
who
like you
he
following
is.
after him, and he got identity problems as well. So now y'all both just looking like damn
Right.
fools. Neither one of y'all know what y'all want to do, and it's like
Yeah.
goes back to
I
say, bro,
think
be
that
you.
yeah, part of the social media, it's so many things, bro, so many factors. And you could just dive so many you can dive so deep into so many bits and pieces, like you said, of different things. Like think about the social media thing, right? So as far as like identity, so you got kids that want to listen to music, right? Or they listen to music on being a gangster or selling dope or having guns or money, cars, clothes, whatever. And then it's just like you got rappers that aren't like that. Like they're putting on the front. They're doing shit just to get paid, and it's just like that's not even who they are. So it's just like even if the rapper knows who they are, like they're doing it for money. So it's just like the
Yeah,
people that are listening to the music, the kids that are listening to music, why don't you take the time to find out who that person really is? Because then you may see like this dude rapping about all this shit, but he ain't even really doing it. So it's like, why would I be it? Why would I try to do that? So they'll really understand if they actually understand the artist that they listen to. They're just listening to it and see that they're making money off of it. Think like, oh, that's how I'm gonna be. That's how that's success to me. So it's like that. And then you got the other side is where you got niggas like Meek Mill or Lil Baby or whatever. They were really into shit, but it's just like they changed. You know what I'm saying? They still rapping. They're rapping about what they went through. You know what I'm saying? They're
yeah,
rapping about their life and what they went through. So it's like they're not portraying nothing that they aren't. They're just giving their story. They're talking about their story and what they did. Like, but then they also talk about, if you really listen to the music, they're talking about change, and they show like out of the studio, whatever, that they're making change, and they're being proactive and they're being positive to the youth, the community, whatever. Like, so it's just like I feel like kids are not even kids. Everybody listen to it. They're not taking the time to really understand who the artist is as well, because it's just like those rappers that rap about all the gangsters that they did or whatever. It's just like that's not who they are anymore. Like that's who they
yeah,
was. So it's just like if you really understood that as the kid, like you understand like they're showing how they've grown. Like even though they're talking about all that bad shit, and it's like it sounds like they're glorifying it. They're not even glorifying it. They're glorifying their story and just want to talk about how they made it from where they came from. You know what I'm saying? And then as far as like the grown-ups or the adults, it's just like they're not even taking that time to listen to that either. They're just like, oh, no, they just talking about this and they're influencing my kid the wrong way. Like, no, you're not even taking the time to really understand the artist. You know what I'm saying? And then it's like back in the day, they was doing the same shit, like similar shit, and it's just like that wasn't a problem back in the day. I mean, but like I said, social media is glorifying everything, so it make it seem worse
yeah,
or whatever. But then I feel like though, even though back in the day there was gangster rap, but I feel like gangster rap back in the day was really a message, and it was really to get out of where they were. Like everybody that was a gangster rapper back in the day, I mean not everybody, most gangster rappers back in the day was really just trying to make it out the hood. And they were just glorifying their life and what they're going through. You know what I'm saying? The same shit that some of them are doing now. But I feel like now it's just changed because, like I said before, you got the people that's doing all the shit that ain't even really about that life or ever been through the shit. So that's what's really changing. So I think they got to take the time to understand that shit. But what you feel
yeah.
as far as music, like, what's your take on the music influence on the youth?
And I won't even say like younger me. I say high school. I
Mm-hmm.
would I would listen to rap and drill and all type of like crazy ass music, but it was still like I take the motherfucking earphones out. It was like I didn't think to go do no shit like that, bro.
Right,
Like
exactly.
it, but I feel like too a lot of these kids who want to be gangster
Mm-hmm.
didn't struggle or really see that, didn't really see it. So it's
Yeah.
like as a kid, I seen a lot of shit. So
Mm-hmm.
I think it showed me like, yeah, I don't, that's just not it. Like that shit. I didn't know no millionaires as a kid, bro. So it was like, yeah, I knew a bunch of dope boys, but I didn't know no
Mm-hmm.
millionaires. I didn't know no successful niggas that was really doing it. I seen a lot of niggas with money, and I seen a lot of niggas get fucked up with money and get in
Yeah.
and get killed. All different types of shit, going to jail, all different types of things, and I just seen that like, yeah, that shit's really not it. So I think these kids again, and like you said, like they see these rappers and
Mhm.
they think they rappers are gangster, and it's like, no, they just putting on the show. These niggas really just living like regular basic life. They're really not no gangsters. So it's like I think a lot of people want to live that struggle and like live that trench life, and it's like, no, that shit's not it. Like I think, like bro, I remember like as a kid, like certain kids who was poor, like they would hide that shit. They didn't think that shit was cool. Or
I
if
know.
niggas was gang banging, like now it's like, bro, they think that shit cool. Like, oh, I'm broke, or like now I'm broke. Like, oh, I went through poverty, this, that, and the third. Now I'm a gangster.
Yeah.
Like, no, nigga, that shit's not cool, nigga. Like, that shit's lame, bro. That you're trying to act like that, bro. Like,
Right.
and shit. Don't get it wrong. It ain't just dudes, bro. It's the females too. Like these females is something else. Like they are different. Like
They starting to
females
act like
now, like
niggas, bro.
bro, like they want to be so damn tough.
Yeah.
But I don't, man. Like I think the females worse than the dudes nowadays. But
Yeah. It seemed like
because
that.
like the way females don't value themselves, like it's sad, bro. Like back in the day, like
Yeah.
you had to wait for a minute to do certain shit. Like now it's like, damn, it's so easy. It's like it's scary because it's like, damn, you ain't not a
Yeah.
week, not a day. Like I think like women don't value themselves no more, and that goes back to the household. I feel like that's when it shows fathers are important because
Yeah.
they aren't teaching shit. Not even fathers, mothers too. I feel like they aren't teaching their daughters to value themselves and their bodies, bro. And like that shit is sad. Like when you really come think down into it, like when you really think about it, like it's sad that a lot of women don't value themselves, and like the way they just nigga be damn near naked nowadays. Like, bro, like the nigga, you had to wait to get a picture of a girl, like something like that. Like now it's like you go on social media and see that shit so much. It's like it's sad, bro. Like, and that goes again back to the positive influence of just teaching, setting the morals and the standards, and teaching the females how to value themselves, and teaching women how to be women and not try to be a man. Like again, like my mom, I go back to my mom. Like my mom was a independent woman, but she wasn't manly, nigga. Like she didn't act like a man. She was just independent and just stood on her business. Like, but like now they want to be like shit. I see some girls who want to be gangbangers and shit, like gangster, and like, no, that's not cool. Like, I don't know. Like
Oh,
I think a lot of people are just confused. It's a lot of like it's a lot of lost souls out here, bro. Like a lot of people are just they're just confused. They don't know what they
yeah.
want for themselves. They don't know how to be themselves. So it's like again, the
Yeah.
young dudes don't they have identity issues, and I say women don't value themselves.
You growing up, like, I mean, obviously you kept talking about your mom. She was a positive influence in your life. Was there any other positive influences that you had?
I feel like really all the women in the family for real. Like I feel like
Yeah.
they all just showed um at that younger age, they all just showed like how to like get up early, go to work, handle your
Mm-hmm.
business, take care of your responsibilities. Like I never seen any of the women that I could think of that I was around like that was um made excuses. I feel like they all made it happen. And I feel like, like they'll say like, man, growing up around all women, you would become like soft, but like, nah, like I think the women that I was
Yeah.
around again, like that's why I said
Man.
like that
What?
dominant, like it was tough, bro. Like, and it wasn't no, if you fall or scrape up your knee or something, get your ass up. Like,
Yeah.
I think they realized because they knew like that man was missing, they had to be tough.
Yeah.
And even though
They
sometimes they
made the
probably wanted to be
choice.
like, yeah, it was like, oh, they probably wanted to say, oh, help us up, but it was like, nah, I got to be tough on his ass. If not,
Yeah.
he's not gonna get that. But I do feel like once I hit about like I don't know for short age, but like I want to say like 16, like 17. I think that's when a man was really needed because I think that's kind of where I don't want to say my mom's job was done as a parent, but like I feel like that's when the man was important for me, and I
Yeah.
think that's kind of when I needed it, but it wasn't there. I will kind of say my uncle did kind of show me it, but I felt like once he got like he was always in my life, but like once he really tried to play that role, I think I kind of was like set on how I wanted to be.
Yeah.
So he couldn't fully grab that, like grab my attention how he really needed to.
Yeah.
So I will say like mothers can do a lot, but I feel like that dad is still needed. Like I feel like that dad is needed to like kind of teach you certain things how to be a man that like a
Yeah.
woman can't fully teach you because it's just like
Definitely.
certain things that she just can't. So I will say like when I hit that age, it was kind of hard to kind of identify. I don't want to say like I don't know how to really describe it, but like I feel like just to have them certain man traits that my mom could teach me, I feel like that was the time when I hit like 16, I needed that. But
Who was
yeah,
the first male, like real, true male influence that you had? You think, or did you ever have one
like older or just in general,
at
like
any point in time?
in you asking like in a positive way, like a positive
Yeah.
like,
Mm-hmm.
and it sounds crazy though, but it was you and Chop because like
Yeah.
y'all were like, and if you think about it, I know like that it wasn't. We don't have too many older men in the family like that were like doing some shit that I wanted to lead after. So it
Yeah.
was like with y'all two playing football and like in the sports, that's I gravitated towards that because that's what I wanted to do. So like seeing y'all like be just successful like with what y'all were doing, it was like I kind of followed after that. I mean shit,
Mm-hmm.
that was the whole reason why I even wanted to go to Massillon because it was like, okay, they're doing good. I want to go over Massillon. So I say
Yeah.
like y'all two, but I will say like when I was a kid, I did have some. I worked at like a car wash when I was like 9.
Yeah.
And I remember the dudes, they would have me down there, bro, like all day. And I
Mm-hmm.
remember then I didn't realize it, but it was like that was helping me because from like 9 to like, I don't know, like a 12 or something like that, I was working at this car wash in the summers. And I used to
Yeah.
hate that shit. They would have me sitting down there all day and they'd be like, I wasn't doing shit.
Right.
And then I remember I went and seen him like 2 years ago. And he
Mm-hmm.
just told me like, I just wanted to keep you around me so I knew you weren't into nothing. And I
Right.
remember I used to ask my mom, like, why do I gotta be down there all day? Like, I ain't doing nothing. And they would like give me like $20, like after I would leave after the day, and they would feed me and they would have me do little certain things. But it was like I didn't fully understand
Yeah.
that. But they were just looking out. Like that was like that positive influence. So I would say I had it as a kid.
Yeah. Just didn't
But
realize it.
into I will say like I had certain men in my life too, but I picked up certain things that they did that was wrong. And I
Mm-hmm.
say I picked up because, and the way I picked it up was like not to do it. I think
Right.
like the things that they were doing incorrect, I learned like, okay, that ain't it. Because I was seeing the effect that it was not only putting on them, but like putting on the people around them. So it was
Yeah.
like, all right, I'm not gonna do those certain things because I see how that's not only affecting him, but it's affecting like us. So I say like that too. Even the negative, the ones who didn't have a positive influence that had like that negative influence, I say like I learned from them as well.
Yeah. No, that's what I feel. Like all the shit that I learned from shit cousins, brothers. Well, not brothers because I was oldest, but cousins and my dad and shit, other people that were grown men in the family. Like I just learned what not to do. Shit, I didn't have no
Yeah.
fucking uh positive influence in my life. I mean, they were positive influence as far as like telling you like don't do this and like
Yeah.
to do the right thing and shit, but it's just like you ain't really an influence. You just telling me what to do. You ain't an influence
And
because
you
you're
doing
not
the
doing
wrong
it.
shit.
You're not showing it. Like so you're not an influence. And I think people need to understand what influence is rather than like persuasion or manipulation. Like influence is like it's just there showing you by example and like showing you what to do. And it's just like at the end of the day, it's your choice what to do. And it's the influence is when it's heavily there and it's shown through actions and uh what like honesty. I mean not honesty. Shown through actions but like integrity. Like what you're doing what you say you do. And it's just like at the end of the day, you can get people who try to say they're influencing you or whatever, but they're really just persuading you or trying to manipulate you to do things that they want you to do, or people around you that are jealous of you or whatever, they may influence you the wrong way. And sometimes it's directly or indirectly. Like people won't even know that they're influencing you the wrong way. They think like friends, for instance, like y'all going around and y'all kicking it, and every time y'all together, y'all just smoking and drinking, or y'all just kicking it, or y'all ain't doing nothing productive or nothing to help you reach your goals that you've wrote down, or whatever. Like it's just like they're a bad influence, they're a negative influence. And even if they ain't even trying to be, like they just trying to kick it. And they think like having a good time is helping you, like when it ain't. So you can have negative influences indirectly or directly, positive influences indirectly or directly as well. So I think people need to understand what influence is, and understand like the people and the things around you that really influence you, because I feel like it's just, it depends on like who who you around and what you around in certain situations. So it's just like when you around somebody or like around something, you got to see how it creates or affects your mood, or like how does it impact you. Like if you're around somebody and it's just like you always feel happy around them, it's just like they could be a positive influence just because you're just happy around them. Like, and not necessarily like it's just open and you just see that they're an influence, or they're showing you that they're an influence. You just gotta look deeper and see that shit. Like if I'm just always around this dude or this girl or this my family or whatever, it's just like, and I'm always just happy, like that's a positive influence. Like it don't gotta be so direct and just right there and clear like in front of you. You just gotta see it deeper like that. Or the opposite, like if you're just around somebody, you feel like you just always doing something negative. Like even if you like having a good time, like you just always, you going out, you having a good time with this person all the time, but every time something just bad happens, or like y'all just always drinking when y'all together, y'all always smoking, y'all always eating fast food, or y'all always just something, like always not doing nothing productive. The end of your day is just ain't productive. Like that's a negative influence. No matter how much fun you thought you had, like you got to look at it and see how it affected your mood and impacted your life. Like so, I feel like people really need to understand what influence is. And I wrote that shit in my bio. Um, as a wide receiver DB influencer, because I told them motherfuckers I don't want to be a coach. I don't want to be labeled as a coach. But like I wanted to be a trainer, but I was just thinking about it. And then people could say it's corny or whatever, but I don't give a fuck. Like I put that shit in my bio as a wide receiver slash DB influencer. And I put question mark and I put a exclamation point. And I want people to like understand like I'm an influencer. So it's just like at the end of the day, I'm showing you by action, like I'm trying to get you to understand the high level of football, to get to college and to get to the league or whatever, but also just to be a good man in life. But it's just like at the end of the day, it's these players' choice. So it's just like I'm an influence, yeah, but at the end of the day, it's their choice to do it. And I tell them all the time when they get in the car or when I'm dropping them off or when we at the field, I'm just an influence. Like I'm gonna give you all this game. I'm gonna do all this I can to help y'all get to where y'all need to be, but y'all got to make the decisions to do it and execute it. So I feel like people definitely need to just understand what influence is.
Yeah, and two, and like to go back to how you were saying, like how older, like how like our age, like drinking all the time, like the unproductivity.
Mm-hmm.
The younger dudes need to learn how to create like that group around. So since they're in the school still, create that
Mm-hmm.
group where y'all go work out, y'all go to the gym. Create that group where you go hit the field. That's one thing I will say. Like I had shit, this nigga Malcolm. It'd be times like where I was not trying to go work out. And he had like
Mm-hmm.
influence, and I didn't realize he would be like, "Come on, let's go work out. Come on, let's go work out." And he would
Mm-hmm.
say it until like that shit would just get on my nerves, and it'd be like that was good to have around somebody like, okay, let's go to the gym, even if he wasn't even realizing, or even if his intentions wasn't to really get me to get better. He just wanted somebody to go. I don't know what it probably was to, of course, to get us both better. But then it became a thing to where it wasn't just us two. It was like six of us now. Now we all in there working out. We doing
Yeah.
extra. We doing extra in the weight room. We doing extra field work. We
Right.
watching film. We going to the school during lunch. We in the film room. We in the coaches off watching film. So create that group. Don't follow after that bad and that negative group. Don't follow after those people that ain't doing shit. And if it's not that success group, create that success group. Like create that. I think these young dudes, like they have like their little crews now. Like I feel like when we was in high school, like you had like your people you was with, but like I was cool with everybody. Like it wasn't no clique for real. Like now they have like little cliques.
Yeah.
So it's like if you gonna have a clique, and I be telling them, nigga, like y'all can. That's good that y'all have that bond and that y'all can influence each other like that, but influence each other in a positive way, bro.
Positive
Like
way, yeah.
go work out. Like go do something. If it's not working out, and even if y'all just at the crib chilling instead of going out to parties, that's still good. But just create that circle of success. And I feel like as an adult, I'm doing that now. But like again, like how we're always telling them, bro, do these things now that we're trying to tell y'all, so y'all will be 10 steps ahead.
Exactly.
But that's
Because we
the thing
didn't do
too.
it. We know we should have did it.
Man, like
Or we
it's
knew we
so
could
many
have did it.
things that I like that. And I don't even be telling them, like, not no glory days of, oh, bro, if I would have did this, I would have been this much better. And I'd be like, no, I'm telling them, I'm so honest with them. I'd be like, bro, I was a dickhead in high school. Like I was ignorant. And I'd be telling them, bro, that shit did nothing. All those kids, everybody I was trying to make laugh, everybody I was trying to be cool for, I don't even talk to now. So it was like I did all that shit and it had no purpose behind it. So do something the correct way, do something that's gonna help you and set you up for success. Because that shit's gonna benefit you in the long run. Not that bullshit, not that negativity, not that not this music, not that gangster shit. That shit holds no value. I can't name, and I know a lot. I know some niggas that got money that's trapping, but I don't know no millionaires that's trapping. And it's probably somewhere, but like I don't know none. So it's like I didn't follow after that. If you want to be a millionaire or you want to be a successful if you want to be an athlete, why aren't you following after athletes? Why are you following after rappers? You're not a rapper. I think that's the thing. They're following after these younger kids are following after the incorrect people. Follow after somebody that you want to be like. If you want to be a fucking athlete, try to follow after athletes. Follow after LeBron. Like follow after people like that. Why you want to follow after nigga that's gangbanging down the street? He ain't even doing shit. That nigga
what killed me is the fucking everybody do this shit on fucking football field, bro. And I'm like, bro, like that y'all don't even know what that shit mean. It's just like you said,
that's the corny shit. That's corny, bro. Like, cause like
you
do
in the
what
field doing that shit.
That shit's corny. Like
that should be pissing me off when I see that shit on the field. I'm just like, bro, like, do you want to be a game banger or you want to be a football player? Like, there ain't no in between, nigga.
And that's the thing too. You cannot gang bang. You can't be in the streets and be an athlete. You can't tell me one nigga that did it. And if it was niggas that was doing it, where they at now, bro?
Exactly.
Like, the two don't mix. It's just not possible. And don't think these coaches don't know what's going on, because they do. Like, and I got to experience it like when I was living in Minnesota and I was seeing little things, and I got to experience it coaching at Akron.
Yeah.
Bro, following niggas at bars it's people watching you at bars that you didn't even know. Like I remember we was in Minnesota and they was like, hey, we got to lay here. There's somebody watching in the corner. Like they're watching y'all. So don't think they don't know social media. Y'all put everything on social media. They ain't even got to find y'all in person. Y'all post everything on social media.
Posting everything.
And that's the thing too. Treat social media, that is your resume. I think like young dudes, they always want to post and follow the negative shit looking gangster. No, bro. You are an athlete. Act like one. Post your workout.
I didn't told at least
that shit is annoying.
I had told at least like 5 or 6 of these little motherfuckers out here, like, bro, delete that shit, bro. One kid posted a video. What?
Somebody from back home, I think it was, I ain't gonna say who, but it was little homie from Cleveland. He posted some bullshit. He was like, bro, tell him to delete that shit.
Oh, yeah. Bro, tripping, bro. One kid had posted like a video of a dude punching a girl or something like that, laughing. I'm like, bro, like, you're condoning like hitting women? Like, I don't care what she did. Like, why are you posting it? Then one of the kids posting like you said, one of his homies with the strap smoking weed, and I'm just like, bro, why you posting that? Oh, this my homie. Like, I don't care. Like, you're trying to be a football player. Coaches are looking at your page and probably not looking at your page because of shit like that. Like, I don't care that's your homie. I don't care if that's your damn dad, your brother, your best friend. Like, don't post that shit unless that's what you want to be. You know what I'm saying?
Like, by posting that, what do you get out of posting that? Like, oh, my homie a gangster. No, bro, that
Like
shit.
weird.
That's the corny shit. And then back to the thing with the female, like with the young women, like I tell them all the time, like stop being so tough with girls.
Yeah.
Y'all niggas be tough with girls, but not tough with dudes. Like when did that become a? And I think that's a thing too. Like as a young dude, I never intentionally disrespected a female. Like I never
Yeah,
was tough.
nah,
Even to this day,
never.
I'm still not tough with girls. Like
That
I
shit
see niggas
corny.
argue
You
with
can't
girls, but
get
won't
girls
argue
like
with
that.
niggas. Yeah, like bruh. And whoever told y'all being tough, being tough with a female get you good, bro. It does not.
That
That
do
shit does
not
not
work.
work. And if it's working, it's working with one that ain't again. That's a negative one. Like
Right,
she ain't she has no value to herself. So if she don't
right,
value herself, she not gonna value you either, bro.
right.
Like
Or add any value to you.
man, like
They
they
crazy, bro. They be
they're so
posting.
confused, bro. Like
They just be posting anything. I be telling them to.
any
I
fucking
be
thing.
commenting on every time I see them just post something, and I be like thinking like, man, I be sounding like a hater. But I'm like, I don't give a fuck.
Hey, I
If
know
y'all
I
if
do.
y'all training with
I
me,
sounded
I
like
don't
I
care.
hate
Y'all gonna hear me. I be commenting on the littlest shit. Like they post some just another teammate, and it's just like I'm like, so say they posted like a teammate of theirs, like one of the varsity players, like scoring a touchdown or whatever. I'm just like, did that nigga ever post you? Like, are they ever
Bruh,
posting you? Like, why are you posting
like
them? Like, just corny shit.
looking
I'm
like
just
a
like, bro, why
fan,
are you
nigga.
posting that? Like, why don't you
That shit
post
is annoying.
some clips of an NFL player or a college player that you
Then, but
like or some
you ain't
rehab
posted.
shit?
It had the time. They don't even know the nigga that they posted for real. Even if they
Man,
go to
bro.
school, they don't even know him. So it's like again, you trying to be cool. You ain't even
Yeah.
posting your homeboy shit. Nigga. Your little brother just posted
That's
some
it.
clip. Share his shit. Like they
Right.
be fried, bro. Like they're so lost of trying to be gangster, and that shit I be pissing them off. I be pissed. Oh, I be pissing people off. I will slide up. I don't even give a fuck if it sound negative no more because it's just like,
Right.
bro. Especially if I see, and I don't even, if I see Jamar post some shit, I be on his ass. Like, bro, why are you posting that shit?
That's
That
how I
shit's
be on
dumb.
all of them, bro. Like,
And it's
stop
like
posting
certain
shit.
ones I really be on like, cause it's
Mm.
certain ones that I know like
They
you
need
can
it.
that's gonna listen, and
Yeah.
that's one thing I learned too. Like, and it's sad, but you can't save every fucking kid. Like,
Can't, and you
you
want to
can't.
so
Like,
bad.
so it's like I found those ones that are gonna listen, and then I'm
Mhm.
gonna say like I'm not save, but I'm gonna help. I'm gonna assist with making sure they're successful at whatever they may do.
Yeah.
But I just think overall, I think if the older generation just came together more
Yeah.
and just help these kids, and you don't have to help a whole damn team, but if you grab 2 or 3 kids and just help them,
Like, it's
then
better
that's
than
doing
none.
something. Because if you can get a positive influence on them 2 kids can go grab 2 other kids that can do it. So that was my thing. Like the kids that I were training, I realized like, damn, these like they like the little popular dudes, like they the little known dudes. So it's like if I can get them to listen, get them to get on
Yeah.
track and to understand that that shit that they're seeing on social media is corny. Okay,
Yeah.
now they got other kids. So then I start realizing, like, damn, that's why I start pulling up to the school. I start telling them, hey, y'all can bring y'all's little homies to sessions and they could sit because I didn't care. Because it's like, and now I got relationships with kids I never trained. I got relationships
Right.
with kids that don't even play football. And
Yeah.
it's like, these kids really just need the proper guidance. And when
Right.
it really comes down to it, and it's sad because like a lot of adults are giving up on these kids, and it's like y'all are complaining about them, but y'all not helping. And it's like, bro, if you helped a couple times, that's not good enough.
Right.
And two, it goes back to the father thing. I remember when my dad did try to pop in and out, nigga, I don't want you around because you're not
Right.
consistent, bro. You're not here all the time. If you're not gonna be full time, don't do it. And that's the
Right.
same thing with these kids. If you're not gonna be full time in their lives helping them, then don't do it, bro. Don't just pop in and out because that shit don't. Because at the end of the day, they know you don't really care, and that's all
And
it
then
is.
they
Once
gonna
these
think
kids,
that shit ain't mean nothing. And then they don't want to do the
exactly.
shit that they supposed to do because they
Shit,
just
when they
like
come
that's
down when
what.
speakers used to come and talk to us,
Yeah.
they don't give a fuck about us. I'm not listening to
Right.
that shit.
Exactly.
Like, so it was like, but then, and it was funny because like a person that would always come was Ellery. And I
Mm.
remember the first time Ellery came and I didn't know him, I was like, I ain't listening. And but then I kept seeing him and I kept seeing he was checking on me and I'm like, damn, I don't know this dude, but this dude know who I am. So it was like I start talking to him more. So it's like even after I graduated high school, he still would hit me up and be like, "Hey, keep doing your thing." And even if it was just like, "Keep doing your thing," or just like a short sentence, it was just like, "Damn, bro, care." Like, because there was coaches that I didn't hear from no more. It was people that I didn't hear from no more. And it's like that man, he didn't have to do that. He still don't got to do that. But it was just like the sense that, damn, he care. He understands like what I'm going through. He
Right.
understands.
You're just trying to be
So
a
it's like
positive influence.
that little shit. Even if you can just send a positive message to a little dude here and there, that helps. Like,
Right.
just start working on being. I think men and women just need to work on being a positive influence. But we do need more mentors. We need, especially for the women. Like, I don't know no women. I don't know no positive one. Like, bro, think about it. Like, I can't really name, and this probably is some, but off the top of my head, I can't name 10 women that are doing something positive with this stuff. Shit, I can't name 10 older black men that I can look up to, bro. Like, so I think people need to check they self too before they start speaking on some shit too. And I ain't acting like I'm perfect, but it's just like, shit, I'm working to be more positive. I say that. So
Changing and helping influence these kids' lives for sure. How do you feel like you find positive influence? Like, because obviously there's people and there's times where you feel like you can't find positive influence or like you can't find somebody to help you or whatever. Like, how do you find positive influence? Like, what is your take on that?
I would, yeah, that is a thing too. Like, now that you said that, I got to thinking like, because certain kids in certain different like low income areas and like poverty areas, it's hard to
Yeah.
find that. So like, now that I think about it, like as a kid, it was hard to find at first. But again, I had like the dudes at the car wash. So I guess try to find people that are doing something that you want to do, that are doing something positive. Like, and people know, like, bruh, find somebody that's doing something positive. Try, and if there's nobody, just, and it sounds crazy, but I say like, stay to yourself. Don't follow after that bad crowd, because there's not that positivity, or there's not nobody that fits what you want to be or what you want to do. I think, and that's the problem too. I feel like people follow after because they can't find what they want. They start following after the incorrect thing. So if you can't find that positive influence, because in some places it's hard to find.
Yeah.
Steady. It sounds crazy, but just steady yourself. And shit, social media nowadays, like, bruh, like, you can find, it's so many positive videos that you can watch. I mean, even now, I make sure I get up every morning and I listen to a positive video before I get on social media and start seeing some shit that could disrupt my mood. I make sure I play a positive video first. So if you can't find somebody physically that's positive and that's doing something,
Mm-hmm.
find it on social media is a great tool now. Like, so find that Eric Thomas, that Inky Johnson, or that certain person that's just speaking that positivity. If
Yeah.
you can't find it physically, that's when you use social media. Like, so
Yeah.
if you can't find it in person, find it on social media.
Yeah. That was gonna be my answer.
Find a positive person. like
Yeah.
like that.
That was gonna be my answer. It was social media, because it's just like, if you can't find it, there's a way to find it. And I feel
Yeah.
like that goes back to just being resilient and always finding a way. Like, not just finding a way to make an excuse or finding a way to complain or give up. Like, find a way to resolve. Find a way, find a solution. Like, there's a solution to every problem. So you just gotta keep going until you find it. If you don't know nobody that's being positive, you don't have nobody around you just being positive. If you got a phone, if you got some type of tablet or some type of internet connection, like, there's hella positive shit on the internet to find. Like, there's hella negative shit that pops up first and quick, but it depends on what you surround yourself with. Like, we talked
What
about
you
that last time. Like, your algorithm. Like, when I scroll, bro, if it ain't football or if it ain't just somebody that I follow that I know, it's all positive stuff. It's all stuff to help my body get right. It's all stuff to help me fucking mentally. You know what I'm saying? Positive quotes, self talk, like encouraging, motivation. Like, it's all that shit. Like, I think I follow like 15 different like mindset pages, and it's just like, I think like 6 of them is like damn near the same thing, because it's crazy because I follow like 6 of them from the actual page. So like I go to a page and watch a video, and then like at the top it'll say remix from this page, and then I'll go to that page and I get to scrolling through that page and I watch like 6 videos. So I
Find
just
another
follow
one.
that page, and then I look and I'm like, oh, they remixed from this page, and I follow that page. And then now, like if I just scroll, my suggested post is other mindset pages or like powerful pages or like positive thinking pages. So it's just like whatever you surround yourself with is what you're gonna see. So like you just gotta set that environment up for yourself. So I feel like there's so many ways to find positive influence in a positive environment for sure.
Just going back to what I said earlier, like if you're not gonna help fix the younger generation and fix the problems that they have, then you can't speak on it because you're again being that negative influence to them as well.
Yeah, definitely. Um, just have integrity and don't be a coward. Do what you say you're gonna do, and if you're gonna speak on it, find a way to have a solution. Like we said, if there's a problem, there's a solution to it. So try to find a way and don't give up on this young generation. Like everybody has their faults and everybody has their negative ways, and I feel like we just need to keep encouraging and motivating and influencing these younger kids and this younger generation positively. And if y'all ever need any positive influence, y'all can definitely come to me and come to us, because we always trying to encourage and help people get better, like in any way that we can. So we appreciate y'all. We're gonna keep giving y'all these shows and giving y'all these topics and keep speaking on how we feel from different views. All right.